The Horn of Africa has long been a crossroads of civilizations and a strategic prize coveted by global powers. From the ancient empires of Axum and Abyssinia to the colonial struggles of the 19th century, external forces have left their mark on the region. European powers, driven by imperial ambitions, carved up the Horn, exploiting its resources and shaping its political landscape. This legacy of foreign intervention has had a profound and lasting impact on the region, contributing to ongoing instability and conflict. In the post-colonial era, the Cold War brought new players and rivalries to the Horn. The United States and the Soviet Union vied for influence, supporting different sides in regional conflicts and fueling proxy wars. This period saw the rise of authoritarian regimes, often propped up by their superpower patrons. The collapse of the Soviet Union created a vacuum that was quickly filled by new actors, including regional powers and non-state actors. Today, the Horn of Africa remains a region of strategic importance, characterized by a complex web of internal conflicts, political instability, and competition for resources. The legacies of colonialism, the Cold War, and ongoing external interference continue to shape the region's trajectory. Addressing the root causes of instability and promoting sustainable peace and development in the Horn requires a nuanced understanding of this historical context. In recent years, Turkey has emerged as a significant player in the Horn of Africa, expanding its influence through a combination of economic investments, military aid, and cultural diplomacy. Ankara's engagement in the region is part of its broader foreign policy strategy, which seeks to assert Turkey's role as a regional power with global ambitions. While Turkey's involvement has been welcomed by some, others view it with growing concern, particularly in the context of its support for the Ethiopian government and its activities in Somalia. Turkey's growing presence in Ethiopia is most evident in its economic investments, which have made it one of the largest foreign investors in the country. Turkish companies have poured billions of dollars into various sectors, including construction, manufacturing, and textiles. Additionally, Turkey has provided significant military aid to Ethiopia, including training and equipment for its armed forces. This support has been particularly controversial in light of the Ethiopian government's ongoing conflict in the Tigray region, which has been marked by widespread human rights abuses. In Somalia, Turkey has cultivated close ties with the federal government, providing substantial financial assistance and development aid. Turkish companies have also been awarded lucrative contracts to rebuild Somalia's infrastructure, including airports, seaports, and hospitals. However, Turkey's engagement in Somalia has been criticized for exacerbating existing tensions between the federal government and Somalia's semi-autonomous regions, particularly Somaliland. Turkey's growing influence in the Horn of Africa has raised concerns about its potential impact on regional stability and the sovereignty of individual nations. Critics argue that Ankara's actions risk exacerbating existing tensions, undermining fragile peace processes, and fueling a dangerous arms race in an already volatile region. Of particular concern is Turkey's military support for Ethiopia, which raises fears that Ankara is taking sides in a complex internal conflict with regional implications. Moreover, Turkey's close relationship with the Somali federal government has been viewed with suspicion by Somaliland, which has long sought international recognition as an independent state. Somaliland fears that Turkey's support for Mogadishu strengthens the federal government's claim over its territory and undermines its own aspirations for self-determination. The potential for Turkey's engagement to fuel tensions between Somalia and Somaliland underscores the need for a cautious and balanced approach to regional engagement. Beyond the immediate concerns about regional stability and sovereignty, there are broader questions about the long-term implications of Turkey's growing influence in the Horn of Africa. Some observers worry that Ankara's actions are driven by neo-Ottoman ambitions, seeking to reassert Turkish dominance in a region that was once part of the Ottoman Empire. Others fear that Turkey's involvement could exacerbate existing rivalries between regional and global powers, further complicating an already complex geopolitical landscape. Section 4. Somaliland's stand for non-interference. In the face of Turkey's growing influence and its potential to destabilize the region, Somaliland has emerged as a vocal advocate for non-interference and respect for national sovereignty. Having declared its independence from Somalia in 1991, Somaliland has built a reputation for stability and democratic governance, standing in stark contrast to the turmoil that has plagued Somalia. Somaliland views Turkey's actions, particularly its close relationship with the Somali federal government, as a direct threat to its hard-won peace and security. Somaliland's government has repeatedly called on Turkey to respect its sovereignty and to refrain from actions that undermine regional stability. It has also engaged in diplomatic efforts to raise awareness of its concerns within the international community. Somaliland argues that Turkey's support for Mogadishu emboldens the federal government's claim over its territory and hinders its efforts to gain international recognition. Moreover, Somaliland fears that Turkey's military support for Ethiopia could further destabilize the region and spill over into its own territory. Somaliland's stand for non-interference is rooted in its own experience of conflict and its commitment to peaceful coexistence with its neighbors. Having endured a brutal civil war and the collapse of the Somali state, Somaliland understands the high costs of conflict and the importance of respecting national sovereignty. Its stance serves as a reminder that lasting peace and stability in the Horn of Africa can only be achieved through dialogue, mutual respect, and a commitment to resolving disputes peacefully. Section 5. The importance of diplomatic engagement. Given the complex dynamics at play in the Horn of Africa and the potential for Turkey's actions to exacerbate existing tensions, diplomatic engagement is crucial to mitigating risks and promoting regional stability. Open and frank dialogue between Turkey and the countries of the Horn is essential to addressing concerns, building trust, and finding common ground. This dialogue should focus on promoting transparency, respecting national sovereignty, and ensuring that external engagement contributes to, rather than undermines, regional peace and security. The international community also has an important role to play in supporting diplomatic efforts and encouraging all actors to prioritize peaceful solutions. Regional organizations such as the African Union and the Intergovernmental Authority on Development should work to facilitate dialogue, mediate disputes, and promote regional cooperation. The United Nations Security Council should also remain seized of the situation in the Horn of Africa and stand ready to take action to prevent any escalation of tensions or threats to international peace and security. Effective diplomatic engagement requires a nuanced understanding of the historical context, the perspectives of all parties involved, and the potential consequences of external actions. It also demands a commitment to upholding international law, including the principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and non-interference in the internal affairs of states. By prioritizing diplomacy and working collaboratively, the international community can help to create a more stable and prosperous future for the Horn of Africa. Section 6, a call for regional peace and sovereignty. The Horn of Africa stands at a critical juncture. The choices made today by regional actors and the international community will have a profound impact on the region's future. It is imperative that all stakeholders prioritize peace, stability, and the well-being of the people of the Horn of Africa. This requires a commitment to dialogue, mutual respect, and a shared vision for a more peaceful and prosperous future. Turkey, with its growing influence in the region, has a responsibility to exercise its power responsibly and to act in a manner that contributes to regional stability. This includes respecting the sovereignty of all nations in the Horn of Africa, refraining from actions that exacerbate existing tensions, and supporting peaceful solutions to conflicts. Turkey's engagement should be guided by the principles of mutual benefit, transparency, and a commitment to working collaboratively with regional partners. Somaliland, for its part, should continue its efforts to engage constructively with the international community, advocating for its sovereignty and highlighting the importance of non-interference. By demonstrating its commitment to peace, democracy, and good governance, Somaliland can strengthen its case for international recognition and serve as a beacon of hope for the region. The international community must remain actively engaged in the Horn of Africa, supporting diplomatic efforts, promoting regional cooperation, and holding all actors accountable for their actions. By working together, we can help to create a future where the Horn of Africa is defined not by conflict and instability, but by peace, prosperity, and the realization of its people's full potential.